Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Taurus, July 1, 2022. With Neptune freshly retrograde, you can feel lacking in direction temporarily. You might question the motives of a friend, or a friendship itself, as faith can falter just for now. You might consider it a nudge from the universe to reassess your goals and pay more attention to or take better care of your spiritual needs. As you advance in this retrograde cycle, you will get back in touch with your dreams, possibly refining them to better suit your purposes and current situation. As well, friendships will resume with renewed faith, again possibly with refinements. If you're emotionally stuck in one place, allow yourself extra time to figure things out before moving forward. Some time for reflection can be beneficial now. Today, there can be a tendency for forgetfulness and indecision. However, you get a nice boost from sharing ideas with others. Communications can be personal, warm, and supportive. The moon continues to wander through sentimental Cancer and your curious third house of communication, thought process, and immediate surroundings, which means that you're not only more emotionally receptive to your immediate surroundings but also intuitively aware of the subtle undercurrents around you. Whether you're single or already romantically attached, chances are you know a lot more than you're leading on. And when considering the moon's electric sextile to Uranus in your sign, you could potentially catch a significant other or romantic prospect off guard today. Whether it be your vivacious personality or your inspiring wisdom, one thing's for sure, you're setting the mood. Speak up and stand out. You might unexpectedly show up in conversation with colleagues as the moon in Cancer sextiles Uranus in your sign. How you correspond with your coworkers or even speak about your job might be different from your usual spiel. Although it may seem out of character to everyone else, you may feel more authentic than how you would normally respond. Since the sextile can be highly intuitive, you may want to feel out your coworkers before saying something out of the ordinary. Just remember that leaving your communicative comfort zone can pay off. Watch out for the ugly green monster today. It can rear up before you get the word jealousy out of your mouth, if you're not on guard for it. Almost all situations that cause this feeling are born out of insecurity. If you aren't secure in your job, relationship, or family, and feel threatened by someone else, it's time to take a look at the root cause. Consider why you don't feel as solid as you could. What's causing the insecurity for you? Look for answers rather than lashing out. Use this time to renew contacts with your family. They will be pleased and you might even be able to resolve old conflicts, as a mediator or by taking the first step to clear matters up. The constellation is favorable for burying the hatchet once and for all. You're the center of the universe, at least for one important person. You feel great about yourself, and with good reason. Keep up the good work. In touch with your emotions, you are fortunate to be so clear about your feelings, which helps you decide exactly what to do. Whether you are looking for casual dates or interested in starting a more serious relationship, you make the right choice. Start planning how best to pursue your own happiness. It could be challenging to supervise or manage other people today. A stubborn mood is in the air and your employees could have conflicting ideas about how to handle things. You might have to be patient and wait for this energy to pass. Or you might decide to take a more aggressive stance to get your point across. At home, you might need to discipline your children in a similar way to prevent trouble. Take a little time to express yourself in a favorite art form on this day. Even if you have to put in some work first, use your free time to enjoy yourself creatively. With the added energy of this vibration, you are sure to notice that you are more drawn to this kind of activity than anything else. In fact, problems or conflicts are not apt to feel like something you want to tackle on this day. Enjoy yourself knowing that these things can wait another day. For the second time this year, Mercury is now in his final days in your income sector, but with two noticeable differences. You still have Mercury's smart head for money and the ability to think on your feet, but this time he won't be making a U-turn and coming back for a double dip visit. However, unlike last time, you have Venus, the planet of money on board, and whatever you can get your head around now, she will stay on to try and help make a reality. This time you have heart and mind on the same page. 2 days on from a new moon in your communication sector, the moon finally moves on today, but not before giving the communication lines a new lease of life. With the Sun and the dwarf planet Ceres not only staying on to keep the communication lines open, but with some positive implications on the relationship in the coming days. Our eyes in the sky. It can enable spiritual or emotional bypassing, yet it can also help us to gain perspective regarding situations that are typically too charged for us to assess objectively. This is one of those times where compartmentalization can be a helpful technique, as it frees us from self-imposed obligations to canonize our past. Instead of assuming that we are bound to replay the same traumas over and over again, we recognize that we have the authority to change how we tell our stories. This will be a somewhat unconscious process today, organically occurring as we go about interacting with friends, co-workers, and acquaintances. We simply tell our story differently, and this action creates change. Using new words prompts different recollections, and the way we share with others creates a holistic ripple effect. Meanwhile, Saturn in Aquarius loves innovation but might be slow to put changes into effect, knowing that true progress is never achieved overnight. Yet, when these two influences come together in a sextile, they harmoniously play off each other. Mars encourages Saturn's propensity for experimentation. Saturn checks Mars' instinct to run into the fray without proper protection. This is a great aspect to use for initiatives where we must put our heads down and focus. Although we will not likely reach our projected target today, this Mars-Saturn permeates us with the confidence that we will achieve our aims if we work diligently towards their realization. This makes us want to get lost in the waves of love and emotion. Be careful about trusting people who don't deserve it. This can excite sexual prowess and heighten sex drive. It also shortens tempers, so try to avoid meltdowns and drama if you can. A good way to deal with this energy is to meditate or count to 10 before confronting anyone. This can help alleviate the situation and melt away stress. By the end of the day, you could feel worn out and tired. Give yourself a rest, some love, and a glass of wine. The moon in Cancer, ending its void of course, which began last night. This is the sign of its exaltation, suggesting an easy flow of instinctual, nurturing energy. Over the next 2 days, we are encouraged to connect with our senses and practice mindfulness. Seek radical presence and keep things simple. The past is gone. The future is yet to be. Acknowledge the tether between your emotions and your environment, and ground into the moment. In the late afternoon, the Cancer Sun forms a quincunx to Saturn in Aquarius, which might dampen our spirits. We may sense a looming crisis, or fixate on a nagging feeling that there are responsibilities we must attend to. The timing is inconvenient, as this is one of those occasions where there is never an optimal time for it to land in our laps. We want to be a leader and demonstrate that anything can be handled with compassion and integrity. Yet addressing this issue requires us to put our feelings aside and just get it done, which seems counterintuitive and causes us to feel stretched thin. We worry we might be viewed as uncaring if we handle the matter efficiently, or that we will be seen as too soft if we act from a heart-centered place.